What's going on, everybody? It's Dog the Game here, bringing you guys another Cincinnati Bengals news video. Today we are talking about Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals QB room. Not much to say about the others. I'm just going to get that out of the way right here and now for this video. Our QB room outside of Joe Burrow is absolutely garbage. With the way Ryan Finley and Allen played, who we just picked up a few weeks ago, last year, I am terrified if Burrow were to ever go down with an injury or COVID, because they were effectively two of the worst quarterbacks in the league last year, and they're limited, albeit playing time last year. I believe they both played 4 games each, and they both looked horrible for the Broncos and our, Finley as a returning player, respectively. At this rate, I'd rather see Dolegala. At least we've seen something out of him in preseason where he played pretty well, but then again, so did Finley. But hey, Dolegala can't do any worse than the other two did last year if push comes to shove. Anyway, this video is going to be more about Burrow and what I like about him as a quarterback, when I fell in love with him and was just absolutely clamoring for the Bengals to draft him, and just my predictions for his rookie year, which I think is going to be a bit of a struggle, considering we are dealing with a definitely unprecedented, year. Closest thing that Bengals fans would have any reference for is 2011 with the lockout, but at least Andy Dalton was allowed to work with his players in the offseason, wasn't allowed to meet with his coaches and, build that relationship, and Burrow has had limited time until now in these practices to build a relationship with these receivers and tight ends, through a little bit to John Ross in the offseason when Ross was working out with TJ Houshmandzadeh and working with Palmer, who's training Burrow for the draft. But anyway, Joe Burrow, what is there more you can really say that anyone else hasn't really said? But the statistical greatest season we've ever seen out of a college quarterback. And I'm not going to lie, I thought it was a fluke to begin of the year. I was fully on after about 2 or 3 games. I don't even think it took 2 or 3 games. I really did not have any faith in us last year. I was in that tank for Tua type of mindset, just like most of the Dolphins fans were. And we get to the Burrow and Tua game, and by that point, I'm actually pleasantly surprised by how well Burrow is playing, and I'm thinking, he's not bad. Hey, he might be a first-round draft pick. Still thinking I want Tua. By the end of that game, I definitely would say Burrow was a little bit above Tua. It was just a great game. Burrow played as flawlessly as you can, but to not discount Tua and why I didn't have Burrow just completely, no doubt I want Burrow. Tua played pretty well in that game and tried to make a comeback at the end, making some great throws, and he looked pretty fantastic as well. He just started off very rough, dealing with some injuries, and those injuries seemed to have caught up with him. They did catch up to him, and now hopefully he has a clean bill of health. Now he's on the Dolphins. I don't wish him to be injured. Why would you wish that on anybody? But anyway, fast forward to the playoffs. At this point, I'm starting to rave. I'm like, yeah, okay, I want Burrow. We get to the Oklahoma, it was the SEC championship against Georgia. That was a little bit after. But before that, it's a play that has been played on highlight reels so many times, but I can remember just very fondly because I was watching the game, and I don't tend to watch too much college football outside of Ohio State. I'll admit that. I'll watch an occasional game here or there, but I'm an Ohio State fan, so I tend to watch only Ohio State on Saturdays. And I decided to watch this game. Bengals were horrible. He might be a future Bengal. Decided to watch, and you just see him escape the pocket later. I forget what part in the game it is, but I can more or less describe the pocket. He escapes pressure, rolls out to his right, close to the sideline, chucks the ball down the field under pressure on the run, and just on a dime to hit his receiver. And I was just like, that's something I have not seen out of Andy Dalton. I have not seen that since being a Bengals fan. I'm not a very old one, to be fair, I'm only 25, but even then, quarterbacks used to not really do that. You wouldn't see that on many quarterbacks back then, and now you're seeing that out of, the Rodgers, the Russell Wilsons, and Patrick Mahomes, those type of quarterbacks. I'm like, okay, I want him here, now. This is the quarterback I want. It's the play that sold me on Burrow, because it just showed me the two things that I've not seen out of, Dalton, and the things that frustrated me the most about Dalton is just not being able to keep plays alive and making plays off script, But anyway, we're going to talk about, some things that Burrow does well, and one of those that things he does do really well, and it just makes me love him, is how much pocket awareness he does have, and how he keeps plays alive, and he can tuck the ball down and run because he has pretty good athleticism. Honestly, it sneaks up on you how good his athleticism is. Now, he didn't run a whole lot in college. I don't think he had more than 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns at most, and I honestly, I don't have his full stats in front of me at all. But, he had most, maybe a couple 100 yards and a couple touchdowns. But he would always, we saw this during the playoffs, and I think during that Georgia game, and definitely during the Alabama game, on a third down, he can tuck it and, make a, important gain to ice, the game, to get an important first down. If he has to escape pressure, I know for a fact that he can get outside the pocket and make plays off script. Whether that is just looking downfield and hitting the receiver, or tucking it down and run. Now, he's not going to be a Lamar Jackson, because honestly, no one is going to be a Lamar Jackson. Lamar is just a different animal. But, Lamar, he's a beast. If he can stay healthy, honestly, it terrifies me the fact that we have to play him for the next 10, 20 years. 10 is definitely the low end because of how much he does run. 20, maybe if he starts transitioning to running less and works on his passing game, that's terrifying. But anyway, this is not a Lamar Jackson Ravens video. But it's just one thing I really, really, really love about Burrow. And I can't wait to be seeing that with the Bengals. Hopefully he doesn't have to run too much. But I know with this horrible offensive line, I am fairly confident in his ability to make plays off script. It's something he did well. I believe he had the highest completion percentage while under pressure and out of the pocket off script in college football last year, or at least the top 3. I'm pretty sure he had the top completion percentage on these type of plays, which leads me into the next thing. He's just insanely accurate. He's a very accurate passer. It's just something you can't really teach is accuracy. It's just either have it or don't, and you can say you can teach it. I don't know. I think you're born with accuracy. With a lot of skills in football, you either have it or you don't. And because of this insane accuracy, he's not afraid to make throws because he can make throws into tight windows. He has great anticipation. He can hit tight windows. And, he's got a bit of a gunslinger personality, streak to him, which, plays in with his, swagger that he tends to play with. And, he's not afraid to make throws. So, might make some mistakes this year. We'll get on that later. Other things I like about Burrow, he's a great pre-snap read and understanding coverage type quarterback. We saw that in college because he played in a pro system ran by Joe Brady, who came from New Orleans and brought that pro system with him when he was with LSU and with Joe there. He's also the son of a coach, so he understands the game very, very well. He's a very smart guy. I'm not going to say kid because he's like 1 year younger than me. I've probably called him a kid in one of these videos before, probably in the original version of this video that I did the first time. Not a kid. It's really weird. You get used to everyone in the media and people around me who would be technically older. I'm only 25. They're not really kids compared to me. But anyway, just a smart guy. He understands schemes and concepts, how to read defenses, and I think, you know, something we've been kind of used to. That's one thing Dalton was decently well at. He could read it pretty well, but his athleticism and athletic tools usually got him in trouble, and his accuracy, while it was pretty decent, we all saw he had a tendency to have balls sail over receivers, and that's something Burrow is not going to do because he had great long ball accuracy. I'm pretty sure he's going to be hitting his receivers in stride most of this year, but let's get into some cons. The biggest one that we're going to be talking about, the media will talk about until he proves it wrong, is his arm strength. Not really a problem when you're accurate and smart a smart quarterback. It's not that big of a deal. If he wasn't an accurate quarterback, this would be a very big deal. But I don't think it's as weak as everyone even says anyway. Is he not going to be throwing the ball as far as Patrick Mahomes, Allen, Rodgers, all these other people that throw the ball 60 yards down the field, with ease? Probably not. But is he too weak to throw the ball down the field? No. We've seen plenty of greats, not throw the ball down the field. One of them still playing today, Tom Brady. Of course, he could throw the ball down the field when he was younger, but he seems to have a great aversion not to. And Peyton Manning was never a guy that was going to light you up by throwing the ball 60 yards down the field. These are guys that were accurate and would dissect you and, gain yards underneath and take the top off after, dissecting you underneath. But anyway, we'll move on to this next con. He doesn't really have too many that I can think of at the moment. And another one will play into, a lot of people's sort of fears because he was a one-hit wonder is his age. He did produce at the highest level you could ever expect anyone to perform, with the records he broke, winning national championship, undefeated with all the competition he faced at LSU, but he's, 24, it's pretty old for a quarterback to be, and to be entering the league. He's older than Lamar Jackson right now, and I don't think that's going to be that much big of a deal, but it is a bit concerning. He's going to be starting a bit later. Some people are worrying that his potential is not as high because of his age. Some people even think he's just going to peak early. I don't think that's going to be honestly the case, but it's a little bit of a thing to look out for and watch as we come into the upcoming years. But anyway, we're going to get on to the predictions aspect of the video, what I think Burrow will do for the year. But before that, I'm going to talk a little bit about some records that rookie quarterbacks have, who has them, and some little stats that maybe Burrow will compete for, maybe he won't. I'll explain my reasoning behind those, but anyway, most passing yards in a rookie season, 4,374, Andrew Luck in 2012. Most passing touchdowns in a rookie season, 27, Baker Mayfield in 2018. And then most passes intercepted, rookie season, 28, Peyton Manning, 1998. Very surprising that Peyton would be the whole record holder for that one. Don't think Burrow is going to be competing with it, even if Peyton said it was okay if he could take the record. Nah, I don't think Burrow is going to be competing for that record. Sorry, Peyton. But anyway, let's get into the predictions, what I think Burrow's season is going to be going towards. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to compete with the most passing yards in a season with the 4,374 by Andrew Luck. It's just, Andrew Luck was literally the focal point of the offense when he was drafted. They had no run game. They had to throw the ball basically every down. And the way Zach Taylor's structured this team and having Mixon at running back, yes, we may have tons of weapons for Burrow to throw to. I don't think the focus of the offense is going to be passing. So I'm thinking Burrow is going to average somewhere around 3,500 passing yards-ish, give or take 100, maybe 200. He's going to have a really good year by rookie standards. Really, really good year. I just don't think he has any chance at competing for that record. Now, the next record, the 27 passing touchdowns held by Baker Mayfield in 2018, I do think he has a great chance at taking this record, as Baker took that record without even playing a full season, as Tyrod started the season for the Browns that year. I'm predicting Joe Burrow to, pass for 30 touchdowns. That's a little under 2 per game. I honestly think Joe Burrow can pass for 2 touchdowns a game. I think this offense is going to be a lot better as long as the offensive line doesn't get him killed or, disease decides to take our players away from the season with COVID. But 30 passing touchdowns, I think in a 16-game season, as long as Burrow's healthy and the receiving room can get healthy and stay healthy, I think, Burrow can hit that 30 touchdown mark. I think he has a very good chance at taking Baker Mayfield's rookie passing touchdown record. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this record broken in the future, anyway, because the way the game is transitioning. But that's neither here nor there. We'll move on to another stat. I do think he's going to rush a little bit this year, but honestly not that much. He didn't rush too much last year in college. So I'm just going to go with 250 rushing yards. It's probably still even too much. Probably can't expect him to run that. I think that's really high end. But I put that there more because of how bad our offensive line is. I think he is going to be running quite a bit for his life. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to have to tuck tail and run a couple, quite a bit this year, but nowhere near as much as, say, a true mobile quarterback, like a Jared Allen or Russell. Well, I wouldn't say Russell Wilson now, but Russell Wilson maybe earlier in his career, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, who are going to rush for, 500, 600, 700 yards, or Lamar's case, basically 1,000 yards, or over 1,000, I believe he got hit this year, or last year, I guess. And I believe he's going to get some touchdowns this year. I think he's going to get 3 or 4, not too many, but because he's going to have those extra chances because of this line. And I think in the red zone, he's not going to be afraid to tuck it and run and probably take a hit as he's entering the end zone. So I think he's going to get probably about 3-4 touchdowns this year. So expect, I think, 32 to 35 total touchdowns this year, from Burrow. Now we get on to the stat, which Peyton says that Burrow can, he can take his record. Sorry, Peyton, don't think it's going to happen, but I'm going to be predicting that Burrow throws 12 interceptions this year. It's the same amount of interceptions that Kyler Murray and Daniel Jones threw last year. I think he's technically better than both those quarterbacks, but, he's going to be throwing under a lot of pressure this year, and, rookies make mistakes. Both those quarterbacks played exceedingly well. I'd say a lot better than I expected them last year. And if they can do better than that and still throw 12 interceptions, the standards I have for Burrow, we're going to at least, keep him held at that standard. Rookie of the year material, because that leads on to my ultimate prediction. Joe Burrow will be rookie of the year. Not exactly a bold statement, but the standards I feel like Burrow will hold himself to and how well he will play, he will easily win that. Only other player I think has a remote chance is maybe Clyde Edwards-Helaire in Kansas City to win that award. Maybe CeeDee Lamb in Dallas. Highly doubt it. Jerry Jeudy and with the Broncos. I don't know. One that could be a real sleeper, if he gets the rings over in Baltimore, would be J.K. Dobbins. But really, it's Burrow or bust when it comes to that Rookie of the Year award. But anyway, these are kind of my thoughts and predictions on Burrow for this year. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, tell me what you think about Burrow and the QB room this year. And ultimately, if you like this content, if you like Cincinnati Bengals content, and any videos I put out there, subscribe, ring that bell, and I will be trying to put out as much content as humanly possible for someone like me with a crappy computer, severe anxiety issues, and just a general doofus. But I'll be trying to put as much content out there as possible for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hoo day, and God bless.